Currently, there's a wide new frontier for science and innovation in agriculture. Creating a more efficient way to grow food and fiber, today's farmer looks to technology for the future.
New technology is actually making farming safer. So as new technology is entering the market, like let's say a riderless tractor, if the tractor were to roll over, there's nobody in it and they don't get hurt. As it leads to grain bins, we can now from the outside monitor the air temperature, the moisture content of the grain, if it needs to be stirred, all without having to get inside the bin. Again, if we don't get in, we can't get trapped.
As farms around the country become more technologically advanced, the trend for bigger, taller, and stronger on-farm storage structures continues to grow.
Technology really has improved. You look at the yield curve over the Midwest over the last 50 years, you see great enhancements, and fungicides is one of those tools that's improved yield along with other biotechnology, which makes we're able to harvest much larger amounts of crops off of the same amount of acres we did the years before, which has really created the demand for larger storage capacity on our farm.
On-farm storage gives growers the opportunity to hold on to their grain longer, seize higher prices that might occur after harvest, and take control of storage costs. Generally, it gives farmers a cheaper per bushel storage cost, but the disadvantage is having to spend the time and effort properly maintaining the crop while it's in storage.
Well, large on-farm storage bins are considered confined spaces, so that's going to bring up some automatic rules for us. We have to lock out and tag out the power source to the auger. If we get into the bin and power is applied to the auger, it can pull us to our waste in 15 seconds, completely submerge us within 30. We've got to do air quality sampling to make sure we've got at least 19.5% oxygen in the bin. Everybody going in needs to be wearing a harness and be tied off. And then the rule that's broken the most, especially in agriculture, is entering into a bin is a minimum of a two-person job. The person entering in, and then there has to be an attendant whose one and only job is to watch that attendant as they're inside the bin.
Essentially, there's one supply shock to the market in this part of the world. We're harvesting in October, and the demand is year-round. So the elevators will pay you basically to keep your grain on farm so that they can get to a time when they want it that allows the supply chain to work much more efficiently versus all this grain coming to town during the supply shock time, which is October, November time frame.
Created as an affordable and effective solution, the Sump hydraulically powered tool produces 6,000 inch-pounds of torque to break up and slice obstacles blocking the flow of grain.
Sump came to being out of pure frustration. Being a farmer, having larger grain bins all the time. When the grain bin became plugged, realized that it was an inaccessible place. It was, decisions had to be made. A lot of times at that point, farmers don't make the wisest decision. But nonetheless, there was a great deal of time and effort involved in resolving the issue of a plugged grain sump. We decided that there had to be a mechanical way to rectify that problem. And after several attempts and a dumpster full of stuff that didn't work out too good, we came up with the Sump Saver.
With the ability to operate from the safety and comfort of the tractor seat, Sump runs in forward and reverse, breaking up the clog without anyone ever having to step foot inside the grain bin.
Like any other industry, time is money, and farmers understand this. Farmers are actually good adopters of technology historically, and if we can do something from our tractor cab, through our cell phone, through whatever technology means necessary to help make our operations run more efficient, in the long run, that just helps everything run much smoothly, much more safe, and in a much more efficient manner.
The mighty Mini from Sump effortlessly slices and crushes obstacles approaching the grain sump, safely restoring grain flow. Installation is quick and easy, as blockages are broken up in seconds.
The Sump sits over the grain sump, and as an obstacle comes down, there may be several reasons for that. It could be bean pods that come off the wall. It could be frozen chunks. It could be chunks of grain that germinated, forming like a blanket that come down. Usually the thing that plugs the grain sump is not very big. It's just that where the location is inaccessible. So when you turn on the sump saver, the beaters turn and it either slices up or breaks the obstacle, causing it to exit the bin through the auger.
It mounts to the bottom of the bin. It brings a hydraulic line out to the side. So now if the auger gets clogged and not moving grain, instead of having to get in like we always had, now we can back up our tractor to it, hook up the hydraulic lines, and it's going to spin those 2 tines and break up the clump of grain and get the grain flowing again without the operator ever having to get into the bin.
Installing the Mighty Mini is really a very simple and seamless process. Didn't require any additional tools or help. It's basically installing a couple of hydraulic hoses in the bin and connecting them to the Mighty Mini in the center of the bin. Very seamless and easy process, and really at the end of the day I had the peace of mind of knowing that I don't have to worry about my grain bin being blocked in the middle.